to Seafan Sports, the sports show that is dedicated to the Seattle sports fan. This is Dave. That's Kevin. As always, you guys, if you're new here, make sure that you please subscribe, hit that button, smash it. If you've been here before and you haven't done it, water is absolutely proper temperature. Jump on in, subscribe, get with us. You will not regret it. Also, make sure you turn on those notification bells so that you also hear when we have new content that hits on the YouTube. Also, thumbs up, thumbs down. Tell us what you like in the comments. Please, we want to hear from the fans. And man, I'll tell you what, we are answering any questions that come down the pike, good or bad. All right, Kevin, I'm going to give you two numbers, and I want you to tell me what they mean. 7 and 0.
Vikings losses. So Seattle has beat Vikings 7 times in a row to Minnesota's 0.
Very close. Russ has beat the Vikings 7 times, and they have beat Russell Wilson 0. Now, yes, I know there is a little bit of trepidation, a little bit of turbulence in Russ and Pete land. This week, there's some interesting comments that came out of both. Pete was not did not mince words when it came to how he felt Russell played in those final 2 drives. And Russell came back and said, you know what? I've got a pretty good track record. I think I can handle this. So don't basically give us almost and Aaron Rodgers, RELAX, basically saying that was an anomaly. Tyler was 3 inches out of bounds. You know, that was just not our day. So Russ is 7-0 against the Vikings. However, this is the only second regular season game that we'll be playing in Minnesota of that 7 games. Now we did have the playoff game there that was freezing, and that looked cold that day.
Very cold.
Anyway, yeah, like one of my ex-wives' hearts. Anyway, Kevin, that is what is going on as far as that goes. So I see hopefully we see some kumbaya from Pete, and we see some kumbaya from Russell, and Russell learns what the check down is. That's what my hope and prayer is, and that's kind of what I'm hinged. Just a little preview of what's coming up. That's my preview of my pick to click. Anyway, Kevin, what do you think that the Seattle offense is going to be able to do against this Vikings defense?
Well, I think we're going to move the ball just fine. I think these two teams are so similar. Both. I mean, obviously Russell is a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins. Yeah. Now, stats really aren't showing that this year. Kirk Cousins off to a great start. You know, they got an amazing running back in Dalvin Cook. You know, their defense isn't the greatest. I mean, except for one guy that has been their entire defense. Their secondary is not very good. I think the two teams are very similar. And I also believe that we always play, and Minnesota always plays us, very, very tough. I think it's going to be a very close game. I just don't know if our offense is going to be able to do more than they've had already this year. So nothing's going to shock me one way or the other.
I think this is going to come down to whether our defense can get off the field. In third down situations as well. I mean, we're not going up against a top flight Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook's got a stinger, and he also has a hurt ankle. So I think it's going to come down to whether our defense on third down can get off the field, make those crucial stops. You mean you've got Jefferson, you've got Thielen, and you've got this Osborne kid, and that's 3 quality receivers, and they all 3 have looked excellent this season. And we've got a couple of receivers ourselves with DK and Freddie Swain, and of course Tyler Lockett, number 2 in the NFL right now. Number 2 wide receiver. So I think they're going to try and pay some extra attention to Lockett, and that's going to free up the monster. And hopefully that blue hair gets going this week.
Yeah, hopefully. You know, I have a feeling that the Seahawks are still being run over right now from King Henry. So I don't know what's going to happen. They have to shut down Dalvin Cook.
Right.
The whole game needs to be shutting him down. They need to put pressure on Kirk Cousins, because when Kirk Cousins has pressure, he's not that great of a quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's an average quarterback. He's not an elite quarterback. So if you could put any type of pressure on him, he folds. Russell, on the other hand, is an elite quarterback, and he should play like an elite quarterback.
Absolutely.
I think they need to run the Pete offense of a balanced offense, like in the first game when we had one extra rushing play over a passing play, and last week was totally lopsided. We cannot win playing lopsided football. We have to get Chris Carson going or Alex Collins. One of the two have to get going. And I think they can if they can hit the secondary.
You know, I would not even put it past. You said I wouldn't put past anything. I wouldn't put it past the fact that DJ Dallas doesn't come out and have an amazing day catching balls out of the backfield. I think that's how they're going to slow this pass rush down, is they're going to hopefully Waldron's listening to this. Okay.
Please.
I'm hoping, praying that they're going to go to that screen game, because that's how you slow down a pass rush.
Yes.
Is you get those backs, or you get those tight ends. And you know what, Kevin, I'm sure that everybody is on the edge of their seats. I'm sure that they are wondering right now who my pick to click is. And I'm going to tell you right now up front, exclusive right here.
Wow.
It is, I know, right? It's no, listen, Kevin, I think it's going to be Will Dissly.
Wow.
And I think that Will get back into the flow of the offense, and I think they're going to make a concerted effort. I don't think it's going to be one of those things that they're going to wait that long, because Will Dissly is an important part to this offense.
Yes.
And the more we go without using him, the more he's going to fade into the background. And I honestly think that Shane Waldron is going to see that, and he's going to make sure that he puts Will Dissly and Gerald Everett on display. But I think more than Gerald this week, I think they're going to go to Will Dissly. I think they're going to go to him, and I'm saying 6 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown.
That would make me happy.
It would make me very happy as well. But that's how dedicated I think they're going to go to this check down, and they're going to be able to slow down Danielle Hunter. So, Kevin, who is your offensive pick to click?
Well, my offensive pick to click is a guy who I'm still extremely irritated with and upset with. However, I believe that the Vikings are going to put 100% effort in shutting down Tyler. So with Lockett being shut down, I think it's going to be DK Metcalf. I think DK has got to put his punkness away and stop trying to get in everybody's head and just play football and catch the ball. So if he can do that, and if they're double teaming Tyler and they're running schemes for Tyler, that's going to leave DK open, and DK better take it and run with it.
Just something to know about, Kevin. Tyler has an opportunity to be in some rarefied air this week. If he can get 100 yards receiving and a touchdown this week, I mean, he's in, I believe it's like 1 of 6 or 1 of 7 wide receivers to start a season out that way. And that's pretty cool stuff.
Well, and I hope he does. I'd like to see him get 100 yards this week, at least 100 yards, if not more. I'd like to see both of them get over 100 yards, and even throw in Freddie Swain. I mean, the 3 of them got 100 yards. We had a couple tight ends get, 50 to 80 yards. That would be a great game. Plus, have one of the running backs just blow up. I mean, we need to put our offense on display in this game and just run over Minnesota.
I completely agree, Kevin. All right, so let's move to that defensive ball, stopping Kirk Cousins. I tell you what, Kevin, again, I think our defensive line has been stout other than the fourth quarter, complete meltdown last week. I think Bobby had 20 tackles last week. I'm hoping that Bobby is not going to have to be the savior again. So I'm hoping that this week, I hope that our safeties are able to stop this three-headed monster. And
Yes.
what I mean by our safety, my pick to click on defense is going to be Quandre Diggs. I think that Diggs playing sideline to sideline and stopping that aerial attack that's going to be coming from Kirk Cousins, and slowing down Thielen. Man, for some reason, Thielen and Cooper Kupp just annoy. They are the mosquitoes of NFL. It's like, bro, get off the go. It just seems like they make big catch after big catch after big catch and torture the Seahawks all day long. So,
well, it's hard to argue with Quandre Diggs not being in my opinion, X factor in the first two games. I mean, he's just been absolutely solid. Bobby had a ton of tackles last game, but if it wasn't for that, I think Quandre's been the X factor all season so far. So that's not a surprise. That's a good pick.
All right, Kevin, who's yours?
I'm going after somebody that should be playing a whole lot more than they are, and that is defensive end.
LJ Collier?
No.
Oh,
I think he should be playing a whole lot less. I think it's Alton Robinson. The limited time that Alton's had out there, he's played extremely well. He was the one that forced the sack last week, or the fumble last week. He's just been on fire, and we need him on the field playing more and more. So if you're listening to this, Pete, put Alton Robinson in the game a lot more.
All right. So just to recap for everybody, Kevin, you have Alton Robinson on defense. I have Quandre Diggs on defense. So we have the defensive line covered. We have the defensive backs covered. On offense, you think it's going to be DK Metcalf, and I think it's going to be Will Dissly that's going to break out this game. It's funny. Neither one of us has picked Russell at all this season.
No. Well, here's the reason why. I think Russell is always going to be Russell. Right. So you're looking for the breakout, the X factor of the game. Russell is the guy that drives the team. So, I don't think he's a shock or a pick to click, because he's going to click every game.
Right.
There's something funny that we talked about last week. We talked about power rankings for the third week and our second week. And so I quickly just looked at the ESPN, the NFL power rankings. And, I have to look at the CBS, even though I think they're a joke.
CBS
the ESPN ranking has Seattle number 6. The Rams in Arizona are in front of us in all of the power rankings.
Okay.
However, the NFL has Seattle number 9. The CBS rankings has the 49ers number 2, the Rams number 3.
Yep.
Arizona number 4.
Okay. We must
Seattle
be like
Seahawks.
8, 9, 10.
Number 15.
15. Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have the 49ers that barely won both games, in my opinion. They could have easily lost both games. They're ranked number 2 ahead of the Rams. You know what, CBS? You're still entertaining me anyway. So
one last thing before we go. CBS has got the worst, and I mean worst, halftime, pregame. Oh my gosh. There is not an interesting person on that panel. No. I'm sorry. Phil Simms, I would rather watch paint dry than listen to Phil Simms or
Boomer
Esiason. Oh my! It literally took years off my life watching that halftime report.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I have to say.
I do have my score pick, so I don't know if you're ready.
Of course, I'm ready, Kevin.
Seattle 31, Minnesota 27.
Oof. Well, I'm going to go with Seattle 40.
Whoa.
Yeah, Minnesota 35.
Okay.
It is going to be a barn burner in Minnesota.
Yes.
I think that's pretty much wraps everything up with a bow, Kevin. I don't think that we have anything else to say except two little words.
Go Hawks.
All right. Bye now.